Well, thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor to be here. I'm going to talk a little bit about what mindfulness is and then lead us in an exercise. So it's not really a break. It's a little bit of a break, perhaps. Break from sort of the learning mind that you've been doing over the last few hours. Mindfulness, but I want to tell you what mindfulness is. I'm curious, how many people are familiar with mindfulness? Just raise your hand. Oh, a lot of you are familiar with mindfulness. Anybody have a regular practice of mindfulness? A number of people. And then how many people who are, oh, it is sensitive. How many people have found that mindfulness has helped them through dealing with metastatic disease? Yeah. So it's helpful. Okay, so the people who are new, I'll just say a little bit about it, and then we'll do a guided exercise, and you'll get a sense of it for everybody, for new and experienced people. Mindfulness is paying attention to our present moment experiences with openness and curiosity and a willingness to be with what is. That's the definition I like to use. And what does that really mean? What it means is we live most of our lives not in the present moment. So for instance, if you were to check into your mind at any point of the day, you would probably notice that you're thinking about something that happened, replaying it, feeling bad about it, wishing you had done it differently, right? Or thinking about something that's coming up, worrying about it, obsessing about it, catastrophizing, worst case scenario. Sometimes we're in the present moment. Sometimes we're in the present moment, but we're often in the present moment wishing it were a different present moment. So mindfulness is about coming into this present moment with a kind of openness and curiosity and just a willingness to be with life. Now, why is it helpful? So it's one of many stress reduction tools. Obviously, there are dozens of tools that we're using that I hope you're all employing. And mindfulness in particular is helpful because it gives you kind of a break from all the doing and all the ruminating and the obsessing and the worrying. And it helps you come to have a greater appreciation and capacity to live in the moment. So the research shows that it helps people with physical conditions related to stress. It helps with, it's been incorporated into a number of clinical treatments, so it's helpful for emotional distress. And when I look specifically at the research connected to breast cancer and also metastatic disease connected to mindfulness, it seems that the most helpful thing is that it helps with anxiety and depression. So preventing the ruminations and helping us live more in the present moment, stopping that ruminating mind. How many people deal with a ruminating mind, worrying about the worst case scenario? Oh, come on, everybody needs to raise their hand, right? I mean, this is the normal human mind. This is what our mind says. We have to think, long ago our ancestors were always looking for threats, right? We had to be looking for the worst case scenario. So unfortunately, we keep doing this now, even though we may not need to do it in the same way. But what we can do is teach our mind to let go of the ruminations, to not get so caught, to come into the present moment and have a greater appreciation. There's this sense like we live on automatic pilot. Do you ever have that sense of like you go through the day and the day is over? Do you ever get in the car and get out of the car and realize that you had no idea what happened in between? This is our day. And so with mindfulness, it can help us to inhabit our lives, to be more fully here. And whether we don't know where our diagnosis will lead us, we don't know what is next, but we know that we have this moment, right? We have this moment, and that's all we have. And if we can teach ourselves to come and appreciate and be here, there's so much more ease and well-being that will be fostered as we do this. So let's do the practice of mindfulness so you get a chance to understand what I'm talking about. And I'm going to lead you on about 10-minute guided meditation. And enjoy yourself. It's not for everybody. Some people love this kind of thing. Some people, I don't know. But just see if it's helpful to you, okay? So I just invite you to settle back in a comfortable position for you, but try to keep your back upright if possible. In other words, it's not nap time. And if you fall asleep, my guess is you probably needed it, so don't worry about it. So finding a comfortable position, feet on the floor, hands resting wherever they're comfortable. You can close your eyes, but if for some reason that's not comfortable to you to close your eyes, you can keep them open, but mostly looking downward, not looking all around. So we can begin by taking a few deep breaths. And as we take these deep breaths, I just invite you to come more fully into this moment. Invite in a quality of ease and relaxation, if that's possible for you. Just invite it in. And anything that is troubling you, just for these next few minutes, see if you can imagine them kind of leaving your body, just coming into this moment that is okay as it is. And we can notice our bodies present on the chair. And this is one way to practice mindfulness, is just to notice ourselves right here and right now. So you can feel your feet on the floor, just noticing what that feels like, your feet on the floor. There's hardness and pressure and touch. Notice your legs against the chair and what that feels like. Heaviness, hardness, softness. And if you encounter any areas of pain as I talk about this, see if you can just soften a little and breathe. Just noticing what is true for you without a big agenda. And notice your back against the chair, what that's like. Hardness, pressure, touch, warmth. You can bring your attention to your stomach. Is your stomach tense or tight? And if it is, see if you can allow it to soften a little bit, just softening. Take a deeper breath. We often hold a lot of tension in our stomach, so just allowing it to soften. Notice your hands. You might notice tingling or warmth. Let your hands be soft. Notice your arms and shoulders, relaxing and softening your shoulders. Noticing your neck and throat and jaw. Let your jaw be soft. And let your face and facial muscles soften. Now there's lots of sounds around us, so let's turn our attention to the sound for a moment. But can we listen to the sound without trying to figure it out, without thinking a story up, making a story up about it? Oh, it's that those people in the other room don't know, they know we're in here trying to meditate. Whatever is, see if you can simply listen to the sounds. Letting the sounds come and go as if you were listening to music. Not getting lost in a story about the sound. And even if you have a reaction, just notice it, listening. This is mindfulness. Being with things as they are. And now turning your attention back to your body, whatever's there, and be very gentle, especially if you're dealing with physical pain right now. See if you can find your breath in your body. Where do you feel your breath the clearest? You might notice your abdomen rising and falling, expanding and contracting with each breath. Keep your breath natural at this point. No need to lengthen it or shorten it. Breathing in and out through your nose. Feeling your breath in your stomach or abdomen area. And now bring your attention to your chest area. Feeling the breath rising, the chest rising and falling with the breath. Expanding and contracting. And just let the sounds be in the background. They don't have to disturb you. And now see if you can feel your breath in your nose. The air moving through, tingling, coolness, warmth. Choose an area to focus on for yourself right now, your abdomen or chest or nose. Or if you want to, you can just continue listening to the sounds. Listening to the sounds. We want one thing to focus on for this meditation. So choose something now, and it doesn't matter what you choose, just choose whichever is the easiest. And we'll notice our breathing, one breath at a time, or the sound, sound after sound. Now, as we do this, it's likely thoughts will start to arise. Planning and remembering and imagining, fantasizing, or just kind of spacing out. If any of that happens, you're not doing anything wrong. That's completely normal. When you notice your mind has wandered, you can gently return your attention back to your breath or back to the listening. So we're going to try this, and it's really, the idea is simple. It's not easy to do, but just being with your breathing or the listening, your attention wanders away and you bring it back. And we'll try this for the next 2 more minutes, but I'll stop talking so you can practice it on your own. And see if you can do this very kindly. Be kind to yourself in the process. Don't get mad if your mind wanders. It's okay, it's normal. Just come back to our breathing. Doesn't matter how many times your mind wanders. We can let go and just come back to the moment. And we practice this again and again. As we bring the meditation to a close, see if you can think of one thing that you feel grateful for in your life. And just notice what appears in your mind. And notice what that feels like inside you as you reflect on this person or some aspect of yourself or something, whatever it is. And see if you can offer yourself some appreciation in whatever way makes sense for you, for being here, for all of the work that you do, and for just giving this a try today. And when you're ready, take one more breath with awareness, and you can open your eyes. Thank you for practicing with me. So I want to ask you a few things, but before I do that, I wanted to just say that what I just did is a foundational practice. How much time do I have? Like 5-10 minutes? I'm good? Yeah. Okay, good. It's what I think of as the foundational practice in mindfulness that teaches us how to be present. So what happens with our thoughts, how many people notice their mind wandering? Just curious. Most people, right? Your mind wandered. This is what the human mind does. So when our minds wander, whether it's in meditation or it's out in the midst of daily life, when we notice that our mind is wandering, we can bring it back to the present moment. And hopefully to something kind of neutral, like your breath. Maybe your breath is neutral. For some of you, it may not be. Neutral meaning you don't like it or dislike it. Sometimes noticing your feet, when you notice your mind is spun out, oh no, what's going to happen? I'm worried about my treatment. I'm worried about my family. Just come back and take a breath. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your body standing. Come back into the present moment. And the way that we train ourselves to do it is through a meditation practice. So what I've offered to you is the basics of mindfulness. At the Mindful Awareness Research Center at UCLA, if you go to our website, we have lots of free guided meditations that you can do. So you can do it on your own. You don't have to do it on your own. You can do it with guidance. So just curious, a couple of people willing to say what happened as they did that meditation? Anybody willing to say? And I'll repeat it. No, it's a big group. It's hard to speak in a big group. You felt relaxed. Okay, relaxation. How many people felt relaxed when you did this? Yeah. And it may not have relaxed everybody, just to keep in mind. For some people, it could be very relaxing. For others, suddenly I'm feeling more anxious. All the anxiety I haven't paid any attention to for the last month, I just had to pay attention to. But with mindfulness, we actually develop more and more capacity to be with what's going on, negative or positive. I saw a hand in the back. Yes. I'm sorry, repeat it louder. Uh-huh. Yes. Okay, so she said that the sounds out next door were annoying, and when she began to focus on it, it helped a little bit. So it's really nice to meditate where it's quiet, but we don't always get that. Right? Especially in the midst of our busy lives with families and kids and, all of that. So we can learn to have ourselves just practice with whatever is here. The sound is disturbing. Oh, I get to listen to sound. How interesting. Oh, there's an ache in my body. I can be mindful of that. I can bring some kindness to that part of my body. I can feel it. I don't have to push it away. The difficult emotions that are arising, I can be present with that. And it's an incredible skill when we learn this. When we learn that we don't have to be at the mercy of all these things, but we actually, it's not what happens to us, but it's how we relate to what happens to us, right? That we have control over. We don't have control over what happens to us, but how we relate to it. We can relate to it with humor and compassion and awareness, or we can relate to it with reactivity and fear and so forth. Any other comments about or questions about the meditation? You're welcome. You're welcome. So with that, maybe, is that enough, or shall I go on? What do you want?
No, I want to take you home with me.
You can. Audio recordings.
Audio recordings.
Anyway, I'm happy to be here. I hope this is helpful. Thank you.